Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. And if you're new to the channel, this is where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out on vinyl this week. And we always start with picks of the week. And there's also a list posted down below that goes in an alphabetical order. A lot on that list is, you won't hear us talking about it this week, but it would be a long video if we went through the whole entire list. So we just cherry pick a few to give you an idea across a few different genres, try to get a little something for everyone in there and just give you an idea of that. But like I said, you can browse the full list to see everything and the prices and all that. So let's get started with picks of the week. Now, my pick for you this week is Duran Jones, Wait Till I Get Over, and this comes through Dead Oceans. Now, this is Duran Jones of Duran Jones and the Indications. This is his debut solo album, and it's a memoir and a love letter. It's the story of his life and his growth and revelations, the wisdom of his hometown, and the wisdom that he could gain once he left it. In it, he writes through Hillaryville's contradictions. Now, that's where he grew up, was Hillaryville, Louisiana. This place is kind of an interesting thing because this was a town that was first established as a form of reparations to previously enslaved Black Americans. So it's kind of, in that way, it's still a very small town. And what do people in small towns, all they can think about is getting the hell out of there, right? But this album, and it's a very open, very honest album, and he details a lot of, how when you're grown and you're away, you know, there's a little bit of a small town that always kind of stays with you. It's pretty interesting. So, he goes ahead and writes about the contradiction of this place and his teenage desire to leave and his adult desire to honor his roots and the plantation history and the ups and downs of the Black community that made homes of this reparation town. So, hometowns just have a way of staying with you. They keep a part of you. And he says, if I'm making something young me would be proud of, Hillaryville is a big part of that. So he finds something very transformative in his memories and the life that he's been leading since, ultimately claiming and embracing his whole self. And this result is vulnerable, personal, and touching on his relationship to church life, to his mother, to being gay, to his worth. And he says he wished that he could tell his younger self that you don't have to stick to the dreams that other people have for you. Anyway, his voice is so great. If you've listened to Duran Jones and the Indications, you know that already. But wow, what a personal deep dive he does on this record. And it comes on black vinyl or the limited edition Blue Jay vinyl that is indicated by the sticker right there. And there's also a 20-page booklet plus a digital download. So yay for Duran Jones. Anyway, check it out. Love him. Love his voice. And also this... I put this in picks of the week just because I know so many people are just so anxious for it and waiting for it. And it is, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy, various artists. Volume 3, The Awesome Mix Volume 3. Okay, this is over 2 LPs, and it's time to face the music. So still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own. It's a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if not successful. Anyway, this features a real stellar lineup of tracks perfect for any hero that's trying to save the galaxy. It's on standard black vinyl, and as I said, it's a double. Okay? Then we have Atmosphere, and this comes to us through Rhymesayers, and it's called So Many Other Realities Exist Simultaneously. And this one is also another double. It's their new album, so it exists, it opens with a kind of a gentler approach, a departure from the brute intros of their earlier works. The song Okay seems to comfort and reassure the listener, with Slug rapping over one of Ant's most really kind of twinkling productions to date. Anyway, there's still an unmistakable sense of uneasiness that sets in, evolving throughout the album, from the subtle panic of the song Dotted Lines to the overt anxiety of In My Head. The tensions just swell and then find resolve again through cautiously optimistic songs like Still Life. Meanwhile, the rhythms on the album are some of Ant's most inventive, where previous albums in Atmosphere's catalog emphasized the parts of life that carry the most meaning, like family and brotherhood, purpose. Realities here is an unnerving excavation of paranoia, perspective, and positivism. The tension in these songs is palpable, but their presence is a testament to the hope that kind of is the underpinning of the whole thing. The magic goes on. It's double black vinyl, gatefold jacket with full album lyrics, and a 2-panel insert with liner notes, okay? All right, then for the country fans, we have, these aren't really what you would call new, but they are on the new release list, and it's Luke Bryan, number ones, volume 1 and volume 2. So both of these are out as new releases this week. Okay, volume 1 here, it includes 12 chart-topping hits. It is available on Root Beer Brown vinyl. I don't know what we're doing with this. It's supposed to be a Walmart exclusive, but you know, there you go. That indicates to you the Root Beer Brown. And let's see, it's Ultimate Luke Bryan Must Have Vinyl, featuring his first number one song that was called Rain is a Good Thing, through his 2017 number one hit, Kick the Dust Up. And then we have here volume 2, and this is through Capitol Nashville, both of these. It includes 10 chart-topping hits available on Tangerine Orange vinyl. Now, there's no sticker or anything to indicate that, but just believe me, that's what it is. It's Tangerine Orange vinyl. It's another of his must-have vinyls. Vinyl. I hate when people say vinyls. It's not vinyls, it is vinyl. It's singular. And I just tripped up there. But anyway, this is a must-have vinyl, featuring 2015's Home Alone Tonight through 2019's hit called Knockin' Boots. So there you go. If you're a Luke Bryan fan, I think he's one of the judges on one of those singing shows on TV. He's really popular, apparently. But anyway, we also have Eric Church, Caught in the Act Live. Now, this is through EMI Nashville, and 2023 marks the 10th anniversary of Eric's first live album, which includes 17 tracks recorded at the Tivoli Theater in Chattanooga, Tennessee during the fall leg of his hugely successful Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour. The project features all of his biggest hits as well as fan favorite selections from his CMA Album of the Year winner called Chief. This is a limited edition. This is actually the 4th pressing of Caught in the Act Live, and it's on 180 gram 2 LPs, and it's on yellow vinyl, and that will tell you there on the sticker, okay? So then we have De La Soul, Balloon Mind State. This is through Chrysalis, and it's the group's third studio release. It was released in 1993, and it saw them evolve into this new sound as they continued to grow stylistically and musically. And there were several moments on the album which proved that the band had matured. I Be Blowin' was a departure, as the track was an instrumental featuring saxophone player Maceo Parker was on it. And the introspective I Am I.B. showed De La Soul at their most self-referential to date. Long Island Wildin' was a collaboration with Japanese hip-hop artist Ken Takagi and trio Ska Dar Par. The album's first single, Break Dawn, used a sample of Michael Jackson's I Can't Help It and Smokey Robinson's Quiet Storm. So De La Soul collaborated for the first time with Gangstar's Guru on Patty Duke and female MC Shorty No Mas, who was prominent on many tracks on the album and showcased particularly on In the Woods. The album ended with an old school Biz Markie collaboration called Stone Age. So finally back on vinyl for De La Soul fans. That's, kind of been waiting on their reissues forever, right? Okay, this is Drain. It's called Living Proof. It's on Epitaph. They're a Santa Cruz-based hardcore band, And they have recently been signed to Epitaph. So anyway, their energetic live shows have just propelled them to peak underground popularity during a global pandemic of all things. But they're ready to break wide open in 2023, and this is their debut for Epitaph, and it's a follow-up to their 2020 breakout release that was California Cursed. The new album is a testament to the hard work and heartfelt ethos that's at the center of Drain's kind of good time psyche. There are a couple of surprises on the album. Rapper Shakewell appears on the track Intermission. There's also a cover of Good Good Things, a nearly 4-decade-old melodic punk carol by the Descendants, and slam hit forebearers to Drain, if there ever were any. But anyway, this is hardcore for everybody. And it's on opaque deep purple vinyl, and yeah, local kids, Santa Cruz. It just says colored vinyl here, but on the back sticker it does tell you that it's the opaque purple, okay? And for the jazz aficionados, we have some more Tone Poet series. This is Gil Evans, Great Jazz Standards, and this is all comes to us through Blue Note. The brilliant arranger Gil Evans had already collaborated with Miles Davis on Birth of the Cool and Miles Ahead when he made his 2 excellent albums for World Pacific, New Bottle, Old Wine in 1958, and Great Jazz Standards here in 1959, the latter featuring Johnny Coles, Steve Lacy, Bud Johnson, Elvin Jones, and more. So the Blue Note Tone Poet series features an all-analog remastered 180-gram vinyl in deluxe packaging. This one, usually they're gatefold, this one is not. But having said that, another Tone Poet release here is Freddie Hubbard. It's called Blue Spirits, and this was the last of trumpeter Freddie Hubbard's 1960s studio albums for Blue Note. And this bluesy and spirited offering features 5 evocative Hubbard originals, including Soul Surge, Outer Forces, and Jodo, each given a richly textured arrangement for an ensemble including 4 horns. Blue Note Tone Poet series again features all analog, remastered 180-gram vinyl, and this one is in deluxe gatefold packaging. Okay, this one's for Mike. Shout out to Mike at Mike's got the spins. It's like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Music to Kill Bad People 2, Volume 1. It's on Org Music. It's a compilation of demos and rare recordings by the Australian acid rock band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. That was recorded between 2011 and 2020. And, where our joke is that they pretty much release something once a week, it seems. But this is part of the official Bootlegger series. This LP has an exclusive alternate cover art by the visual artist Griffin Scanlon and was mastered by Joseph Cara. This version is pressed on what they're calling Purple Galaxy vinyl. It's limited to 1,000 units worldwide. So it does tell you on the sticker that what color the vinyl is and the limited 1,000 copies. Okay? All right. Next up, we have, this is very topical, you could say. We have Ed Sheeran, and it's Subtract, and this comes to us through Warner Brothers, okay. He burst onto the global music scene in 2011 with his debut album, Plus. So rapidly establishing himself as a history-making artist, he followed with Multiply and Divide, Number 6 Collaborations Project, and Equal, a catalog that has seen him become one of the world's biggest musical success stories of the 21st century. He announced this album. It's actually, the names of the albums are the symbols for multiply, divide, equals. But anyway, this one is just like the minus sign, but it's pronounced subtract. Anyway, here this is the last in his decade-spanning mathematical album era, he's saying. So an album that revisits his singer-songwriter roots, and one that was written against a backdrop of personal grief and trauma and hope, and it presents one of the biggest stars on the planet at his most vulnerable and honest. So since he first learned how to play Layla by Eric Clapton on guitar at the age of 12, his love for the singer-songwriter mode began, and growing up with the likes of Damien Rice, Bruce Springsteen, and Bob Dylan playing on repeat in his parents' home. That was artists that his dad, John, introduced him to. He was always on, that was like always on his radar. So yet as the songwriting and process took a hold, new meaning and direction after a series of these hard-hitting events, that he's been through impacted his world in 2022. And one that remained untouched was his strong desire to make a record anchored in his love of singer-songwriter composition. So now, here he gears up for the release of his most soul-bearing work to date. This is... it's got exquisite production from pared back folk-leaning textures to the bolder full band orchestral arrangements. And anyway, this is on limited edition yellow or white vinyl or the CD, okay? And it tells you here whether it's yellow or white, but both of them are limited edition. And anyway, just as I was saying, it's kind of topical because just today, if you're not aware of it, the heirs of Ed Townsend, who was the co-composer of Marvin Gaye's hit, Let's Get It On, had accused Ed Sheeran in a federal lawsuit of stealing a 4-chord progression and a general shape of some melodies from the song. Now, Sheeran denied stealing the melody and harmonic rhythm from Marvin Gaye's soul classic, but today, it was actually not today. Today's Friday. Yesterday, Thursday, a jury found Ed Sheeran's hit "Thinking Out Loud" doesn't infringe on the copyright of "Let's Get It On." So he is finally finished with that drama over that, and interesting, huh? Okay, next up, this is Typo Negative, Dead Again. Nuclear Blast America is the label. It says a reissue of the 7th and final studio album from New York metal legends Typo Negative. When Dead Again was released in 2007, it became the band's highest charting album in their career. So the 2 LP set here contains 10 tracks. It's a limited edition black vinyl or cassette release. And then lastly, we have Steven Wilson, Grace for Drowning. This is also a reissue. This is on Snapper Music Limited. It's the second solo studio album by Steven Wilson. Again, we've talked about him a lot on this channel. He's a producer, songwriter, and frontman of Porcupine Tree. It was originally released in 2011, and it kind of seems like at that time, working on the remasters of King Crimson's back catalog kind of rubbed off on him a little. This album wouldn't be out of place with Crimson's back catalog at all. Quieter and more experimental than his first solo offering, this album tends to delve into mid-70s prog, which is not a bad thing, but it seems more random prog than the more structured, like Pink Floyd type. Anyway, the introduction of horn sections during some of the tracks shows his move towards a more jazz-oriented sound. This album is a very ambitious piece of music, and it gives more rewards on every listen. So, if you like Steve Wilson or you love that prog, this is a great reissue to pick up now. Okay, so earlier when we were talking about atmosphere, I wanted to remember to again reiterate to those of you who are either, kind of coming out of town to the Roots Festival here. That's in a couple of weeks, and it's 4 days, of like Revolution, Stick Figure, Dirty Heads, Wu-Tang Clan. Anyway, Atmosphere is going to be playing. And, again, when you're going to that festival, if you want to pop in, we are literally right across from the fairgrounds and, just are up the street, I should say. And, we're open all those days. If you want to come in and shop, we will ship your stuff for you. Anything under $50, it'll be like $5 to ship. And anything over that, we'll ship it to you for free. So you don't have to worry about, caring for your vinyl all day or carrying it around with you. It's just a service that we're providing. And, there's like a lot of good bands at this lineup. I know a lot lot of people will be coming from out of town, and we'd still love to have you come in and browse. Okay, so having said that, here we are in May all of a sudden, and Mother's Day is coming up, and everything else. Siren Records of Monterey, like I said, located very near the old fairgrounds where the Monterey Pop Festival was originally held. And we're open every day of the week from 10 until 4. So if you're around, please do join us. We would love to have you. And that is pretty much it for this week. Again, the list is going to be down below, alphabetical with prices. There's, a lot of good stuff that came that we didn't talk about just now, but I'm trying to keep these short and to the point for you. Okay, so everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.